Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Knight Jr. here once again with another comic book review, and today we bring you Rippaverse Comics Bloodruth number 2, written by the tremendous Jen and Sylvia Saska. Now, if you remember, the last time we saw Bloodruth, she made enemies out of Michael and Lillian, and whatever dastardly plan they had with their business transactions to take over Flores Park. Now, if you want to check out my thoughts on Bloodruth number 1, check out the link in the description, or click the video card at the end of this video to check out my thoughts on Bloodruth number 1. But all in all, long story short, Bloodruth wants to save her family, but in the process of doing so, she met Gooding and got roped into a situation where she had to expel an undesirable from a castle that Michael and Lillian had purchased. However, it was not just one undesirable, it was 3 greater demons and a devil. And Bloodruth was able to dispel of said greater demons and devil, and we did learn a little bit more information about Bloodruth's family and their background, which now brings us to the events of Bloodruth number 2, where Sydney Bloodruth's goal is to start resurrecting her family, start freeing her family, either from the clutches of death or to release their spirits back into their body in which they belong. And in doing so, she has to go meet some old family that she has not seen in a very, very long time. That being her grandmother and her grandfather, who has been turned into a werewolf. And of course, with talking of her grandmother, she learns that her magician accomplice, Crowley, who she saved twice in Bloodruth number 1, can perform the resurrection magic, but of course, her grandmother is trying to talk her out of it, telling her that, Sydney, this road you're trying to go down on, it's going to lead towards nothing but death, and I don't want that for you. But of course, Sydney, she lets her grandmother know that if anyone can do this, I can do it, and she persists on with trying to perform this ritual. When Bloodruth gets back to her castle, she learns that Crowley has freed one of the greater demons that she trapped in Bloodruth number 1, being Dear Trick. But Crowley tries to convince Bloodruth, saying that no, we can trust her because she feeds off knowledge from the books rather than souls, so you have nothing to fear. And while Bloodruth is having issues trusting both Crowley and Dear Trick, she has bigger fish to fry and bigger things to worry about, so she just chooses to accept what is going on right now, but she is letting them know that she has an eye on both of them. Crowley performs a ritual that sends Bloodruth's soul to heaven, and when she gets there, she meets her mom. And after a long conversation and a quick revisiting of some past events that happened with with Sydney Bloodruth, her brother Abel, and her other brother KC, we learn a lot of things. We learn that KC, while he is dead, his soul is in limbo, but it is hell-bound because of actions that he committed in his past. Whereas Abel, his soul is stuck in his body, but he does not have control over his body, because as we saw in Bloodruth number 1, the devil Silk took control of Abel's body and made him his son, made him his follower. So Abel does not have any control over his actions right now, even though his soul is still stuck in his body. And that is the information we have learned from the conversation between Sydney Bloodruth and her mother. But while all this is going on, Michael and Lillian find Abel, yes, Bloodruth's brother, and they strike a deal with Abel that involves taking out Bloodruth, getting rid of the Sydney Bloodruth problem that Michael and Lillian have now developed. And it does not go well for Sydney Bloodruth, because after she gets done conversating with her mother, and her mother is able to convince her, hey, just trust in God's plan, have faith in Him, we will see each other again one day, but it's not meant to be right now. It is not your time, and we cannot come back. So have faith in the Lord, and make us proud, Sydney Bloodruth, more proud than you've already made me. And when Sydney agrees to do so, and when she feels at peace with the situation, she is trying to come back and bring her soul back to her body and end the ritual. Well, unfortunately, Abel found his way to Sydney's castle and took out both Crowley and Dietrich, and is now in control of the whole situation, and presumably by the ending of the book is currently in the process of sending Sydney Bloodruth's soul to hell, to which we will, I presume, eventually have a meeting between Sydney Bloodruth, Abel, and Silk, which is the devil that changed Sydney's Bloodruth life, to say the very least. At least that is my presumption of what happened with the ending of the book. But now time to give my overall thoughts on Bloodruth number 2. Now, I really enjoy Bloodruth number 2. Bloodruth continues to be one of my top 3 when it comes to the Rippaverse characters. Jen and Sylvia Saska, once again, outstanding writing on this book. And as with a lot of the Rippaverse books, they give you, the writers, whether it be Eric July, Chuck Dixon, the Saska sisters, whoever, they give you just a little bit of information with each new book, but the scenarios and the events of the books add in more questions, and you're left wanting more. I did get a little more insight into Sydney Bloodruth's past and what being a Bloodruth means, and the insights of her family, and just how the world of a Bloodruth works. But because of the ending, because of the different events happening out throughout the book, I got more questions now. I got more questions about the lore of the Bloodruths. I have questions about, am I right? Is Sydney currently being sent to hell to eventually have a confrontation with Silk and or Abel, or both? What does this mean for Sydney Bloodruth? I'm walking away with more questions than I got answers, and that's a good thing. That's something I enjoy. I want to have. I want to question more things. I want to look forward to another book, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I am looking forward to Bloodruth number 3. I'm wondering where exactly in the timeline this issue is fitting in, because as we all know, for Rippaverse fans anyway, Exclave number 1 that comes out later this year is a Bloodruth, Isom, and Gooding tie-in. It features those 3 characters. Those 3 characters are going to have a lot to do with the events of Exclave. But where does Bloodruth number 2 fit into this timeline? Obviously, it has to fit in before, but what exactly is going on? How is Bloodruth going to get out of the situation? And that is what I'm looking forward to, seeing how exactly Sydney Bloodruth works her way out of this one. And can I also say that I truly, truly appreciate the message a little bit in Bloodruth number 2. It feels that, Jen and Sylvia Saska's writing with, some of the topics of Bloodruth number 2, the writing seems to have a respect and a appreciation for Christianity and God. Just the, before we got the ending with, presumably Sydney her soul being dragged to hell, but just Sydney Bloodruth's mother, just telling her, trust in God, and don't question God's path, because ultimately God's path is the most sacred thing of all. And
she and my grandfather Jebediah have been forced to live a reclusive life due to my grandparents bending
imagery that Sydney Bloodruth's mom was giving Sydney, before obviously the terrible ending for her in Bloodruth number 2. But I just felt as if the aspects of Christianity and God were being read with such respect by Jen Sylvia Saska, and that's something I want to shout out and just have to appreciate so much from the Saska sisters.
They will understand that I would never abandon my brothers or my mother.
Bloodruth number 2. Bloodruth continues to be one of my favorite characters in the whole of the Rippaverse. Bloodruth number 3 coming out later this year. I cannot wait. I am excited. Is this the final chapter of this particular story arc? Because as we all know, with Isom's first arc was 3 issues. It was 3 stories. Is that what is going to play out for Sydney Bloodruth in her arc? Are they going to end this arc in issue number 3, or are we just going to keep going forward and forward and forward? Either way, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. Overall grade, I would give this one. It's looking like I'd say like an A-. You know, B+, A-. We're kind of in that territory. Again, Bloodruth, one of my favorite characters. The Saska sisters do not miss, whether it's Yaira or Bloodruth. I can't wait to eventually get to reading their separate stories, their single stories of Michael and Lillian, whether it be the Cursed or the Black Eye Club. But this is a Bloodruth review after all, and I'm going to lead towards an A- right now as far as a overall grade for Bloodruth number 2. Saska's, they continue to not disappoint. They continue just to elevate the game in the Rippaverse, and I'm glad they are part of the team. But if you've read Bloodruth number 2, let me know what your thoughts about Bloodruth number 2 are in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts are about the overall direction of the Rippaverse going right now. But with that being said, please remember to leave a like, share the video, but most importantly of all, subscribe to JKJ Culture. I've been Joey Knight Jr., and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.